Call the regular council land use meeting to order. Looking at the land use applications, B1.
Madam Mayor, I believe this is a denial.
This is a denial application. Is the applicant here to speak to denial? Anyone in the audience here to speak to this? Be the applicant, sir? No. Mr. Greenwald? I'll put that off if, with your indulgence, Council, until the end of the meeting, and we'll call for that again before we deal with it. Number 2?
Move planning recommendations on number 2, Madam Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 3.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 4.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Councillor Villeneuve?
I'd just like to make sure that with the redevelopment of the gas station that we have the best quality landscaping standards possible, because this is a pretty key site and on a well-used boulevard that is really starting to look nice. So I just want to ensure if we are redeveloping a gas station, there's 2 or 3 in the city that have really nice quality landscaping that have not hurt their business, and I think we should require that on any of the new gas stations along King George Boulevard.
Perhaps we can have that in the report going to the public hearing, but in terms of the land use, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 5, Madam Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move planning recommendations on...
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, yes. That one, Councillor Gill, yes, I was going to just speak to the timing of that one relative to the biodiversity.
Madam Mayor,
is that where you're going? Okay.
I am, actually.
Okay,
in
good.
fact, on this particular application, I do support the application moving forward, but certainly I just wanted to better understand. I know that this particular parcel of lands was subdivided back in 2012, and I further understand that our BCS strategy was completed in 2014. If the report suggests that 15% of the overall site was targeted for BCS corridor utilization, I'm just wanting to better understand that, given that the BCS requirements and the ability to kind of hit some of those targets, I'm not even quite sure if 75% is the target that we're trying to achieve, or is it 50% or 1%. I'm just trying to better understand how do we meet these targets, given that some of the BCS requirements are not a legislated designation or dedication that's required from the developer. You want to speak to that, Mr. Planner, please?
Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Gill. The subject property is impacted by the BCS corridor, and what staff do is work with the applicant to try to do the best we can to achieve as much of the corridor as possible. And in this case, we've been able to achieve 75% of that. So that is a negotiated agreement with the applicant, and staff in this case feel that it was reasonable.
So Madam Mayor, I'm just trying to better understand that I'm not suggesting 75 is too high or too low. I'm just really trying to understand, being reasonable in context to what an applicant and developer may want to accomplish on their sites. Again, when you're looking at this particular site, I think 15% of the site was targeted as BCS, and we've hit close to 75%, so that's really great. But just the context of, given that these lands don't generally come to us as dedicated lands, or they're not I'm just trying to better understand, how do we achieve a number that we're satisfied in the same context of not permitting the developer or the applicant to be disadvantaged, and whether it's compensation or the likes. I'm just trying to better understand our policy in that context.
It's a negotiated policy. Is that what you're Suggesting, Mr. Planner, yeah. Jean, did you want to take a stab at that directly?
Madam Mayor, it is really a negotiated policy. We want to make sure that the goals and objective of the BCS are achieved. Right now, if we look at how it's established, it's just a straight line within the mapping system of the city, so we need to refine it, and we do it as part of each application. And in this case, the corridor runs along 24 Avenue, so it'll provide landscaping for the project as well as the habitat that's part of the BCS. So we think that it achieves the intent of the BCS while allowing development of the property.
So it's also included in the landscaping corridor of
That's
what
right.
is required
That's
for
right.
this application. Okay. Did I call the question on that one?
Thank you.
I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 7.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 8.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 9.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move planning recommendations on number 10.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 11.
Second.
Madam Mayor. Councillor Villeneuve.
I just wanted to ask if there are issues because of the unauthorized fill on Fortis's property and things. How does that have to be resolved before the permit, temporary use permit, goes through, or how do we handle that situation?
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Villeneuve. Yes, that will be a condition of final issuance of the TUP, is to resolve that fill issue.
And the applicant will have to resolve that with the other parties, is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, I'll call that question. On the temporary use, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And move planning recommendations on 12.
All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 13.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 14.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Also on 14, on the zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 15.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On the zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
And
Carried.
move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On number 16, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 17, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 18, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 19, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 19, on the OCP, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
And all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On the zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
And all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On item number 20, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
On
Carried.
zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On item number 21, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
On
Carried.
zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On item 22, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Item 23, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Anyone opposed? Carried.
On zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
All
Second.
those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 24, move planning recommendations.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On zoning, move first.
Second. We got the OCP.
On the OCP?
Can we clarify, Madam Clerk?
Okay. Zoning move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 25, move planning recommendations.
Zoning.
On the zoning?
Missed the bylaw?
Zoning bylaw.
Zoning bylaw?
Yes. Move first. The other one was on the
24.
OCP.
So just the OCP? Did
Yep.
you need first and second and third, or sorry, first
Yes.
and second? So on the OCP, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On
Now
25,
25.
move planning recommendations on 25.
Second.
All those in favor? Councillor Villeneuve.
I just noticed this is allowing subdivision into 104 single-family lots and one remainder portion. So I would just suggest to the applicant that they have a public information meeting before this comes to public hearing. It's a fairly large project in this area, so just a suggestion to avoid problems.
Okay. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On the OCP, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
On the
Carried.
zoning, move first.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
second.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
Move
Carried.
public hearing be set for Monday, February 22nd.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move planning recommendations on number 26.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Sorry.
Oh, did you want to speak to that before I... Okay. Sorry, I don't have you...
Sorry, it didn't go on. Actually, it's the next one. I apologize.
Okay.
Then I'll take...
That one good, because that one's carried.
I'll move planning recommendations on 27th as well.
Second.
Okay. Councillor LaFranc.
Oh, thank you. So I just, the policy around on-site sewage disposal is over 20 years old. And when I was reviewing this actual proposal, it seemed that there have been technological upgrades that makes it possible to make smaller lots. And so, but it seems like it's a little bit more complicated than that. So through you, Madam Mayor, to the engineer, I wonder if we should have more information on this brought to Transportation Infrastructure Committee so that we can study it and see if the bylaw itself or the policy itself needs to be changed. I understand that we also need to work with Fraser Health and make sure that we do our due diligence on this. And the update should also include, if I'm not mistaken, exploring ways to ensure regular maintenance so that we don't have problems down the road with these on-site sewage disposal units.
And I think Councillor is referring to this is in an area where there are existing 1-acre lots, but is there a technological advance that we should be aware of at a shirt sleeve session where we can have a little bit more information? Would that satisfy you,
Yes.
Councillor, in terms of that session?
Thank you.
In terms of this application, any other comments? I'll call the... Oh, Councillor Starchuk.
Thank you, Mayor Hapner. I would just ask the planner if there's some method that can go inside of the RC, maybe where there's some sort of preventative maintenance or some sort of inspection that would happen on this, because if there is some sort of a failure that would happen within the septic field directly south of there and downhill, there's an organic farm, and by the time sometimes you hear about these failures, it's far too late for a business like that to survive.
Mr. Engineer?
Madam Mayor, the question sounds like it's related to the maintenance of the septic field. So we, given that the Council's direction is to hear this at a shirt sleeve session, that will tie into what needs to be discussed. I don't know if my colleagues in engineering want to add to that.
Mr. Smith?
Madam Mayor, we can discuss the topic, the questions that were raised by Councillor Lafranc at the shirt sleeve session. As far as regulating, we don't regulate septic fields in that sense, to put the restricted covenant to answer your question. There's best practices for septic fields, but as Council approves this development variance permit, we will work with the applicant to understand what they're proposing and then recommend the number of lots that we think is appropriate given the soil conditions, downstream conditions, and how it can be maintained.
So we'll have a broader discussion on that generally at a shirt sleeve session, but in terms of the development or the policy here, it's not up to Council to decide what those numbers might look like. That's up to you to decide in terms of your own analysis that you do at the professional level?
That's correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Will that satisfy you, Councillor Starchuk?
I'm satisfied.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll add that to our broader discussions for our own understanding. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that's carried. Number 27. Oh, that was 27.
That was 27.
Under
That was
bylaws and limits.
H1.
Move final adoption on H1, Madam Mayor.
Second. Can I just go back to number 1 to see if the applicant is present for the denial of number 1? Looking for someone relative to 16327 number 10 highway. Is the applicant here? Would you like to speak to the denial, please? Come forward. Could you just use the mic here in the center so that we can understand you? Or hear you. I don't think the other mic is on. Nope, next one over. One more. In the center.
This is first time ever I'm reporting to the council. It's not a very big issue. I'm just requesting the number 6 as if you can consider this access road as a parcel with a private road access. So our access should, I was requesting for the setback, relaxation for this property. And if we can consider the property access as a starting line, so we can get at least around 10 meters of relaxation of the property. Because we're not getting a direct access from the road, access is from the private, through the other private property. I don't know if I made my point or not yet.
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost on what you're asking of us. So the application in front of us is to permit the construction of the single-family dwelling farther back on the lot. And what are you suggesting might be a compromise? Right now it is sitting at a denial.
No, denial is for the, I was requesting for 10 meter more,
Yes.
according to ALR legislation. We don't have a denial for the...
Clarify.
Madam Mayor, I believe the applicant's requesting a relaxation on the 50-meter setback from the front of the home, correct?
Yes.
And you're requesting
70
60.
meter instead of 60 meters.
Is it 60 not instead of 50, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and planning is the advice we have is to deny that. So your comments to us is, please don't deny that?
Yes, please. Because I know this is a small lot, it is constrained lot, but if we build a house towards the corner, north corner, we have more place to do the agriculture. On the front of the scale, we get a scale lot saved because the access is not from the 56th Avenue or Highway 10, access is from the adjacent lot. So I don't know why we are considered as going through all this.
Okay. So the access is from the adjoining lot, not from the...
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Planner. Have you done any consultation with anyone else relative to this property in the area?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a question.
Yes. Councillor Villeneuve?
Just in our report, it states that the maximum farm residential footprint is still available on the lot without asking for the variations. So I'm just having a hard time understanding, are you wanting to build your house bigger so you need...
No, not bigger, just I want to move it towards the left side, towards the north side of the property.
So you can have more farmland?
Yes. And plus, according to ALR legislation, I can only go around 60 meters from the highway or any main road. But on this lot, we don't have direct access from the road. So we shouldn't fall into that ALR legislation. It's only 10 meters towards the north side. So we have more scale lot to do the agriculture.
Thank you. Councillor Starchuk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not sure if this is a question that you could answer or if it's staff, but if you move your preload 10 meters closer to the railway, does it impact the railway, and have they had any say into what's going to happen if you had any consultation with the railway with taking that preload area onto that soil?
No, we don't have any issues with the railway, no.
But have you had any discussions with the railway with regards to doing a preload 10 meters closer to the railway?
No, because as far as I knew, there was no requirement for this. And this was MOT property. They already discussed with every railway, and MOT sold this property to me, so I don't think they had any other issues.
What are you farming on this property?
We started vegetables, small vegetable farm on this last year.
Councillor Gill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm just going to see if staff can just kind of help me with this drawing that we have in front of us. Can I assume that the yellow and the orange portions are the road to connect to this particular property? I'm just trying to identify the drawing itself. If you could just kind of help me through that process, please.
Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Gill. So the yellowish line on the two properties to the west, so the closest one to Highway 10, is actually a setback to protect the Pacific water shrew. So there can be no building or construction in that area. The red portion just north of it is the proposed shared access drive aisle that would be 10 meters wide and would cross both properties to provide access to the subject site.
And in terms of what the applicant is proposing, is there any net reduction in terms of available lands available for agriculture in terms of what he's proposing versus the 50-meter setback? Is there more or less lands available for agriculture in the context of what's being proposed?
Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Gill, if the house were moved closer to the front lot line, there would be more contiguous farmland at the rear of the property.
Thank you.
If the house were to move where? Where it's been...
Yeah.
Okay. Can you farm on land that has been identified with the Pacific Shrew?
Madam Mayor, I believe so, yes.
You can use the land to farm. Okay. What is the wish of council? Council has to have a wish. Let me just ask this, maybe you can make some, we seem to be at a standstill there. Is it possible, and I'll ask this to the planners, that we could ask the applicant to do some consulting, or that we do some consulting relative to the acceptability of this to the neighborhood? I know the farming community had some concerns.
Yes, Madam Mayor, that would be a possibility. The application could be referred back for the applicant to do some consultation.
Does council wish to refer it, or does council wish to have a denial?
Back to staff to have the applicant do some consultation with the neighborhood.
I'll second.
Second that. Now on the table is a consult.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I just like really, I'm confused because the report really says that he can build the size house and have access without needing the variances. And so I'm just don't quite understand what the advantages and disadvantages of this variance is then for him if he's really able to build the size house and have the kind of access he needs. So I think that's why we're hesitating. So if we could just get some clarification around it, it would be helpful for me.
Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Villeneuve. Yeah, the yellow outlined area on the subject site is basically the buildable area with no variances, and that does meet the maximum farm home plate allowable under the A1 zone. So it is possible to build a house without the requested variances.
Why doesn't he? May I ask of the applicant then, why don't you simply not build a house that you can build within the area that has been identified and adhere to the zone that has been...
Yes, I'm a little confused myself. Why would city, if we are interested in that much ALR, why would you not allow to build me in towards the front, towards the left side? So we save more land. I just want to start building from where the orange or red axis is, from that corner, towards the north side.
We
don't want to go deep, so we use less land there.
You would like to go tilt that drawing so that you could build it up, but that puts you closer to the railway line?
Yes, not that close, but it's towards that corner. So we have more scarce land, scarce lot to do the agriculture. So we can use that corner of that property instead of leaving it as a waste.
I agree.
And city is asking me to build toward the scarce side of the property. I want to build it toward the corner, toward the diagonal, where the diagonal cut is. So we can use for the septic tank, and everything could be used in the corner, not in the square lot.
Councillor Gill.
Is there any net loss to any agricultural lands if the applicant proposes to build the home in the fashion and the location that it is? I do appreciate the fact that this could be a precedent-setting issue in terms of the 50 meters, but that being said, just given the odd shape of the lot and being able to utilize the lot in the fashion that's being described. So the question is, once again, is there any net loss to the ability to grow agriculture on the lands given the design or given the layout that's shown in front of us today?
Yes, Madam Mayor, through you to Councillor Gill, there would be, because the area Well, and the front lot line is protected for the water shrew, and the proposed driveway is proposed to be just north of that. So the area that's farmable in here, there would be no farmable area. So if the house were pushed further south, there would be more contiguous farmland at the north side of the home.
Okay. I have on floor, or on table rather, a consult. I'm going to call the question on it. All those in favor? Opposed? I'm opposed. Okay, that carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now we're going back to bylaws.
Move
Council.
final adoption on H1, Madam Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move final adoption on 2.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On 3, council is requested to file bylaw 18186.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move final adoption.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
On the DVP, move that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the DVP 7913023800.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And on the DVP 7913023800, move that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute DVP 7913023801.
Second.
Can I just ask a question? This is having all of the elements, or all of these units 100% tandem. Was this in the mix prior to our bylaw, or is this our change in policy?
Madam Mayor, that's correct. This had third reading prior to that policy coming into effect.
Okay. Okay. So I don't like it. All right. DVP?
And did you call the question on the...
I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And finally, move that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute DP 7913023800.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Move adjournment, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder? Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
We got to file, sorry,
Pardon me?
number 4, we have to file?
File, to be filed.
Where's number 4? Oh, is it on table? Sorry.
Or have I got the wrong sheet?
No, where's number 1? I don't have any.
This is an updated agenda. I think.
Oh.
There was a couple of different agendas.
If there's an
floating
updated
around.
agenda, could someone give me a copy of it so I can see it for a moment? Thank you. No. I thought we filed 18186. So we did it. It was under 3, so they just
Oh, we did it
added.
under 3.
We did it under 3, yeah. So we're adjourned.